You let me know if anything funky happens, Ed. Other than that, I know we're good. Probably not, you know, probably not. There, now I am. Sorry, is that good or bad? Okay. I was like, what did I do? It is perfect. It actually is helpful that I can see myself. You know, working the holidays, it isn't bad, Matt. Like, it really isn't. Working the holidays. Straight ahead on News 4 Tucson at 5. Today is the peak day for home cooking fires, but Tucson's fire response might be slower. Find out why staffing could be causing some delays. Plus, new rules could mean higher costs for local businesses in Pinal County, how you can make your voice heard. And then later, hundreds gather at Salvation Army Tucson for a Thanksgiving meal and a message of hope. News 4 Tucson at 5 starts right now.
Live from KVOA, this is News 4 Tucson, live at 5.
All right, good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Monica Garcia. Happy Thanksgiving. And a reminder tonight, Thanksgiving is the #1 day of the year for home cooking fires, according to the National Fire Protection Association. And even with today expected to be one of the busiest, Tucson Fire says they don't have enough engines on the streets. Let's go to News 4 Tucson, Japhet Serrato live downtown. Japhet, this is all because of low staffing, you say?
That's right, Monica. In total, 10 Tucson fire vehicles at some point today were out of service. 4 of them were down all morning long, but those 4 are now back in service. Assistant Fire Chief Lewis Harris says the reason is simple: staffing. The department usually backfills using overtime, but fewer firefighters volunteer to work on holidays. Vehicles affected include executive captain units, paramedic, and rescue trucks, hazmat, and air power, all of which run with just 1 or 2 crew members. Harris says the department is still responding to all emergencies, but you may see slower response times if you call 911 today.
The two-person trucks that we lose, the rescue trucks, those are the ones that are running a lot of medical calls for us. That could affect service delivery, or it could make us a little slower getting to the calls. It doesn't mean we're not getting to calls. We absolutely will, but we might be a little bit slower.
Union President Clayton Black says 23 firefighters are working overtime today. He adds that new recruits are still in the academy and will not graduate until spring. The city of Tucson says 14 new firefighters will be added to the city from that fall academy that we mentioned. The city of Tucson also points out that Tucson Fire's vacancy rate is 8.8%, the lowest, they say, compared to other cities. Reporting live from downtown, Jafet Serrato, News for Tucson.
All right, thank you, Jafet. Well, another fire department in Pima County is getting some much-needed support. Rural Metro firefighters now have a new tool to help them battle dangerous fires. Rural Metro Fire says they received, look at this new Spartan fire engine today. The new engine will help crews respond to emergencies across Pima County. Firefighters say this addition will support their work serving the community. Pinal County Pinal County is asking its residents to weigh in on a new rule that could change how much local businesses pay for air quality permits out there. The Pinal County Air Quality Control District says if these rules pass, businesses may pay more to cover the cost of cleaning the air and keeping it clean. The county says this helps fund inspections and protect public health. Residents can share their opinions starting today with a public hearing December 30th in Florence. For more on how to submit those comments starting again today online, at our website, KVOA.com. All right, let's take a live look right now outside. This is I-10 from our Storm Tracker 4 Skycam network. We like to show you the freeway on busy days like this as Tucsonans possibly driving to their Thanksgiving dinner right now. Storm Tracker 14 meteorologist Matt Brode. And what a day to have a Thanksgiving dinner taken on the patio at this point.
Fantastic day of weather, fantastic night of weather.
Gorgeous.
As promised. Yeah, we are seeing some clouds rolling on there. Not a fantastic day if you're a Detroit Lions fan, which I am. Let's not go there. We're going to keep things to the weather here. Storm Tracker 4 Skycam networks looking at, partly at times, mostly cloudy skies. Airport temperature 71 degrees, so we are a few degrees above average for this time of year. Light winds from the west at 6 miles per hour. Humidity is at 38%. And check this out. Late November, Thanksgiving Eve, we are looking at those temperatures into the lower 70s citywide. We have mid 60s up in Oracle, Nogales at 72 degrees, and plenty of 60s. I mean, it's chilly down in Bisbee. Likely jacket weather. Current temperature is 60 degrees. Here's those clouds rolling up and around a pretty decent area of high pressure, and it's because of this area of high pressure that sits right about here that we are keeping our temperatures on the warm side of things, and we're going to keep things warm likely all the way through the weekend before we start cooling things down one more time. Here's the plan for your Thanksgiving night. 66, thankfully warm at 7 o'clock. Still plenty of clouds. Clear, mild, 9 o'clock, low 60s, upper 50s. Few clouds still at 11 o'clock. And then your morning lows, if you're waking up early to hit the big box stores, for example, it's cool, but it's not unseasonably cool. 30s in Wilcox, but we got mid to upper 40s most of southern Arizona. And Tucson only getting down to the low 50s for your morning lows on your Black Friday. What about the weekend and beyond? We'll talk about that when you join me back here in just a few minutes.
All right, Matt, sounds nice. Once again, the Salvation Army of Tucson opened its doors to people in need this holiday. News for Tucson's Charlie Goldberg joins us live now from there with all those details. Charlie.
Monica, we're outside of the Salvation Army Tucson's hospitality house where thousands of Tucsonans facing food insecurity or seeking compassion and loneliness, might be lonely, got served traditional Thanksgiving meals.
I come every year to get support here because times are tough.
For the past 3 years, Ben Thomas has been spending his Thanksgivings here at the Salvation Army Tucson Hospitality House, participating in their annual Meal for Those in Need. Thomas used to be homeless for about 5 years, yet he tells us he's grateful not only for today's meal, but for the support of the Salvation Army who have helped him get back on his feet.
This agency here has helped me a lot with financial assistance, rent assistance when times have been tough, so they do help. Salvation Army, I do love as an organization.
Thomas was one of hundreds served at today's event. Organizers tell us they prepared 150 turkeys, 300 pounds of vegetables, 300 pounds of stuffing, 300 pounds of potatoes, 25 gallons of homemade turkey gravy, and lots of pie. Major Andres Espinoza couldn't be prouder of the result.
This is a beautiful time that we can provide a home for those people.
The event also included entertainment, holiday decorations, and opportunities for community connection. A connection felt by guest Patricia Blazak, who's been staying at the Salvation Army for the last 3 days.
It is hard, believe me, I know it's hard, but there is help out there, and they, you know, you can get someplace if you really need to go.
And organizers tell us that they have met their donation goals for this event, and they thank the community for their support. Reporting live from Midtown, Charlie Goldberg, News 4 Tucson.
That's great to see. Thank you, Charlie. Coming up on News 4 Tucson at 5, a shocking attack on newly sworn-in National Guard members in D.C. under investigation as potential act of terrorism. We'll tell you the latest on that. Plus, imagine smoke filling your plane just before takeoff. We'll tell you what happened next at a Philadelphia airport. We'll be right back. All right, taking a live look right now at Washington, D.C. on this Thanksgiving evening. A look at the White House. Investigators are now calling the shooting of 2 National Guard members in Washington a targeted attack. The victims remain in critical condition tonight. Police say 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom and 24-year-old Andrew Wolf, both from West Virginia, were sworn into the National Guard just one day before yesterday's shooting. Officials identifying the suspect as a 29-year-old man, an Afghan man who came to the U.S. back in 2021. Meantime, the FBI is investigating this as a potential act of terrorism. Prosecutors have charged the alleged gunman with 3 counts of assault with intent to kill. And take a look at this video. This is all over the social media platform as passengers had to evacuate an American Airlines plane last night at Philadelphia's airport after smoke filled the cabin. Imagine that. American Airlines says the plane was about to take off when crew told everyone to leave using the emergency exit. A passenger said they heard a noise and they smelled something burning as smoke entered the cabin. The airline put passengers in hotel rooms overnight and rescheduled their flights for this morning. The flight had already been delayed several times before all of that happened. All right, coming up on News 4 Tucson at 5, deadly crashes on Catalina Highway are down, but with Thanksgiving and snow approaching, safety remains a top concern. More on how deputies are stepping up efforts. We'll be right back. Let's take you outside right now. A live look up at Mount Lemmon, looking south from the community center. Very cold up there. Pima County deputies say they are watching traffic along Catalina Highway. Sheriff Chris Nano says there is some encouraging news when it comes to safety. News 4 Tucson's Andrew Capasso has more tonight from Catalina Highway.
Pima County Sheriff Chris Nano says the number of deadly crashes here on Catalina Highway is down this year compared to years past. But at the same time, with the Thanksgiving holiday weekend here, the first snow just around the corner, and a lot more people expected to be up here soon, he says now is the time not just for his deputies, but everyone on this highway to pay even more attention.
I still see a lot of people, being irresponsible, driving fast.
Deanna Ibarra drives up Catalina Highway with her family pretty regularly. She says while she feels things have gotten better, there is still room for improvement.
I have seen a whole bunch of people not, watching out for the curbs and the pedestrians.
It's such a beautiful area, right? Everybody goes up there to recreate and just see the beauty.
Pima County Sheriff Chris Nano says the number of deadly crashes here are down by as much as 40% compared to years past. Still, people are dying on these roads. The most recent less than 2 weeks ago, a motorcyclist going fast around a curve and going off the road. An unfortunate reminder the sheriff says people need to be aware of. His special enforcement team is watching the traffic up and down this mountain and making stops for violations.
They've been up there doing some enforcement efforts, more so education.
He says the ticket is less important than everyone knowing how to act on this road. He says that includes cyclists and drivers.
We know that officer presence means a lot, and it doesn't always have to be a ticket. It can be taking time to talk to all of those using the roadway. We want our community to be safe, but it takes our community's help in doing that.
And as Ibarra crosses at Windy Point, She says it's a message everyone needs to hear.
Safety is definitely everybody's concern.
And the sheriff goes on to tell me the most dangerous spots here on Catalina Highway are those switchbacks. There's a ton of them here, and in many cases you can't see what's around the corner. That's why the sheriff says it's not just paying attention that's important, but also being extra patient. Reporting on Catalina Highway, I'm Andrew Capasso, News 4 Tucson.